Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our morning edition of Big Brother 22 All-Stars Live Feed Spoilers. This is day 14, and Coco Vanderwolf is even here. We're all together. We have talking dogs in the video now, and we have...
She wants you now.
Oh, she wants me now?
Yeah.
Well, in about 20 seconds, she's going to want on the floor. This is what happens. But we have a house meeting threat, and there's nothing we all love more than house meeting threats that really accomplish nothing, but we'll talk about that. We'll update you on a new alliance or alliance. We'll see how that goes. Before we get into anything, though, if you guys like this video, give us a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Yeah, there you go. And if you
do it for the Coco.
if you guys do want to support us more, check the links in the description to the store and also our Patreon, where we have a number of different benefits that are waiting for you there. And now you can go on the floor because you're over this altogether.
All right, so here's the big news is that Nicole Anthony wants to have a house meeting, in which none of these ever really go well, and I kind of wonder if she's in two camps. I feel she's either like just so down the hole that she's really desperate to try something, or she did have a breakdown the other day where she was feeling almost like, not like a self-evict, but just feeling really low about everything that's happening and that maybe she shouldn't have come back. I wonder if she wants to go out in a blaze of glory like I do in Borderlands when there's like 500 guys and I'm just like, I'm just going in and we'll see what happens.
This is a true story, by the way. This happens, but it makes up the fact that I die all the time in that game under normal circumstances. But this... Okay, I love the threat of a house meeting because like 90% of the time someone threatens a house meeting, it never actually happens, and it gives me this like false sense of excitement because house meetings are usually like really tremendous entertainment and awkward and weird. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to see Janelle and Kaysar thrown under the bus in some house meeting by Nicole Anthony hours before the eviction, but is this really going to accomplish anything? Is this going to tell the house anything about Janelle and Kaysar that they don't already know or feel?
Yeah, typically these don't really work out that well. And yeah, like Nicole, I think her real goal is that she just wants to show the house that she's not with them. Yeah. That even if they want to be with her, she's not with them. So, and she has made it clear she does not want to be with them. She hasn't made it clear to them. They really think that something could be happening with her. But everybody else in the house, I think they already know this information. I mean, she's taken information from them and spread it far and wide. So, you know, I don't know what this is really going to accomplish, especially since a lot of the stuff she's going to be saying, everybody already knows.
It's a lot like a attempt at a relationship where somebody is like, you know, I'm not interested in doing this for now. And then the other person's like, so you're saying there's a chance then later? Like, that's what this whole dynamic just feels a little bit like that. And it's, I get though, I get that Nicole Anthony is desperate, and I get that she's probably thinking, okay, if I can show the house that I'm not with Janelle and Kaysar, if they're all against Janelle and Kaysar, this may be my only way to stay. Like, I get that argument.
Yeah, but what obviously she's not really seeing right now is sort of that it's not as clear cut as that. It is not the whole house is against Janelle and Kaysar anymore. I mean, Davon and Bailey, they're looking like they might be interested. There are some things that are shifting a bit. Clearly, Memphis wasn't interested in getting rid of them either. It's not this clear cut.
This is a situation where, and I don't think we're ever going to know this, but it would be so fascinating to know if Nicole Anthony had never done any of this, never listened to Kevin, never got super paranoid about it, and she was just sort of with Janelle, Kaysar, maybe Bailey and Davon. Maybe there would have been more of a way to actually solidify more numbers, but I think the problem is if you're Janelle and Kaysar and you're going to X person or Y person to try to rally to save Nicole Anthony, they're probably a lot like, well, why am I going to go join this cause that is this dysfunctional where Nicole Anthony doesn't even really want them?
Yeah, and it was interesting too because in her monologue, she thinks she has like 9 votes. Which is, I'm not sure how that math is really mathing for her, but here we are.
Yeah, she thinks that, like, she's got all these possibilities, and she's, like, thinking for sure that she's got the support of Janelle, Kaysar, Kevin, which she may have those three. But then you've got Christmas, which she absolutely does not have. And then you've got Bailey, and Bailey has basically only agreed to blindside David in the event that she knows that those votes are there, and she knows that those votes aren't there. This would be like sort of parents saying to a kid, if we win the lottery, we will get you that, like, go-kart that, like, floats into the air for Christmas, but they know that they're not millionaires.
Is that a thing?
I just made it up. I couldn't come up with a good enough metaphor at the moment. It is still early. Let's all take a drink of coffee, everyone.
All right, so the other thing that Nicole Anthony did is she did some fact-checking on Janelle and Kaysar with Yvonne, who's a good person to go talk to, because in general, she's kind of, working with them in some degree. I mean, they've talked about it quite a lot. They've been hanging out a lot, which we'll also get to.
Yeah.
But, Nicole Anthony kind of did some fact checking to see, kind of catch the lie. Where's the lie? And it just wasn't there. And Davon was just kind of like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. And it didn't do anything for Nicole Anthony. She just kind of left feeling exactly the same. Like, she just wants to not like them and not work with them. And it doesn't really matter what the truth is. For whatever reason, whether it's her own paranoia, she just can't trust anybody. Kevin's filling her head. She really believes, like, the things that are in her head, and she just can't get the facts to match up. It doesn't matter. She's believing her lie.
I think she's got such a recency bias because she only played Big Brother not that long ago, and she was duped and played, that I don't think she can see sort of the idea of the truth, even when the truth is right in front of her, even when Davon is telling her that the majority of the things that she's asking about with Janelle and Kaysar, are they campaigning for her? Have they approached Bailey and Davon? It's like, none of that really matters to her, because I just still think that she can't grasp the idea of the truth. And I don't know if it's because Janelle and Kaysar are intimidating or legends or whatever else, but they're kind of notoriously loyal players, and that's what I really don't get about the whole just spiraling of paranoia and craziness that is going on.
I'm very curious after this game is over for Nicole Anthony to hear what she has to say about all of this, because obviously all of us on the outside are being like, what are you doing? These people are like crying that you're leaving the house. They want to work with you so bad, and you're just doing all this stuff. If she's going to look at this game and be like, oh man, I really missed the mark on that, or if she's going to double down and be like, no man, they were still never loyal to me. They were never going to, you guys don't get it. You weren't in the house, which is where I actually think she's going to land.
I'm curious to find out. I'm curious to see even if Julie has a conversation with her about a lot of this, because we don't believe that there's going to be a pre-jury battle back. We've already gone through this, so Julie could clue her into a lot of this in her interview on Thursday. But the timeline of events that could be insane on Thursday, we could have the Nicole A. house meeting, which I said I get, like, at least a part of it. I don't agree that it's gonna work, but
there's another part of me too that's actually wondering if, because she was feeling kind of weird about this whole situation, feeling, oh, maybe I shouldn't have come back, and because it's All Stars, there is an extra pressure on everybody in this particular game, that maybe she's like, oh man, I don't want to, if I have to go out second, I need to go out big. There has to be moments that people are talking about.
And I think that's also what's driving her to potentially then give some eviscerating eviction speech if she knows that she's going on Thursday. It's like, that's the part of it that I just don't really get at this point, because there's no strategy. By the time you're doing an eviction speech that you're not staying. Just, why are you going to try to torch Janelle and Kaysar at that point? It's not going to accomplish anything other than make casual Big Brother fans mad at you, and you already have a lot of Big Brother Twitter mad at you.
Yeah, And we all love her because she's so nice and she's a kind person. We can all kind of relate to her in that awkward way, or at least all of us nerds.
Yeah.
So going up there and just being like, man, bashing somebody, I don't want to actually see that. I mean, I want to see it, but not for her.
I don't think it's actually going to happen if I had to, like, make a firm decision right now. We all know there are 95% hollow threats within the Big Brother house, but... All right, brace yourselves, everyone. We're about to tell you about a new alliance, just in case we did not have enough of those going on.
Yes, it's the BS Alliance.
Otherwise known as the Slick Six, but I kind of want to call it the BS Alliance now.
I think they all know that this alliance is BS while they're talking about it and after they've talked about it.
I think the whole impetus behind this group, which consists of Bailey, Davon, Cody, Tyler, Enzo, and Danny, because Cody and Danny aren't in enough alliances already, I think stems from the idea that, Tyler's got some suspicions that Bailey and Davon aren't really on their side, and I think there's paranoia that Bailey and Davon have been talking to Janelle and Kaysar, so it's this, let's bring them in. Let's make a new alliance. Let's give this alliance a name, and then they'll think they're really a part of this, and then we're all going to be close, and then we're all going to be happy, right?
Yeah, except that Davon and Bailey are not idiots, and they know that this is just the BS Alliance. Everybody that's involved in it just is like, yeah, sure, cool, we have a name, and then they're all going back to what they're already in.
Yeah,
it was just such a waste of everybody's time is what it was.
Yeah, like this is, at the very least, Bailey and Davon, if they think that this is actually a legit alliance, which I do not buy, but they would probably think, we are number 5 and number 6 in this alliance. Why would we do this if potentially we do want to flip with Janelle and Kaysar down the road? Then we can be just tied with them as number 1 and number 2 because they'll have equal numbers.
Yes, which is why I think that they are still with that. I don't think they're buying into this because it feels like that last chance at your relationship before it completely falls apart.
They're just doing a good job of just sort of playing the middle, hearing what everybody wants to say. Their names will come up here and there. There's distrust and questions, with Danny and others. But it's just sort of like so long as Janelle and Kaysar are there and Memphis is there for Ian or, whatever else that's going on in this game, you've got options and opportunities.
Yeah, and even at the end, after, everybody kind of dispersed from this BS alliance, Cody, insisted to Tyler and Enzo that they're the team. So, right away, it was already just nonsense.
And the funniest thing about that is it's like, Cody, they are one of your teams, and I think that Cody and Enzo is his, number 1 allegiance, but he's also got Cody and Danny, and he's also got Cody and Nicole F. And Nicole F seems to think that is her number 1 team. This is the part of this that I am looking forward to with this whole Cody, Tyler, Enzo, Danny, this blob alliance nonsense it's going to be fun when they eventually do have to sort of turn on each other. How angry are certain people going to be when I wasn't the real number 1 and I thought you were my number 1, and it's going to be so confusing.
Cody is playing the Tyler game because that's what Tyler did, and he had all these number 1s at the end, and then he had to make a choice, and it didn't turn out that great for him. I mean, it didn't get really mean, but he didn't win, and you can't win like that. The only way that Cody's going to get out of this is if some of his number 1s go kind of in the middle, and they go to jury, and it's not because of him. That's the only way this is really going to work out. But if he's sitting at final 4, final 5, and every person is his number 1, it's not great.
And I think that's why people like Kaysar are sort of threatened by him. And I think there's a chance one of the reasons Kaysar wants to keep Nicole A is so that there's at least somebody playing in that safety suite that's not Cody, because I think Cody is just sort of thinking that he wants ultimately, actually I don't remember if Cody played in the safety, but anyway, ultimately just what happens here is he wants to make sure that Cody goes on the block.
But just the same, even if Nicole A plays in the safety suite and she saves somebody like a Cody, like that's what's going to end up happening. Nicole Anthony's not going to win that and save Janelle or Kaysar or anybody else. She's going to pick somebody from the popular group to show her loyalty, and it's just going to be like what we've been talking about us nerds trying to help out the popular kids, and then they get what they want and it's done.
Ultimately,
sorry, popular kids, but not really.
We'll see where today goes, but for now, let us know in the comments, what do you want to see happen on the Big Brother 22 house? Do you think Kaysar will actually be able to go after Cody? Let us know all your thoughts and thoughts on Nicole Anthony's house meeting in the comments. And if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and you can support us further by checking the links in the description to the store, to our Patreon, and we'll see you here next time.